It's almost harvesting season!
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, sort of, back to Let's Sort of Play Mountain Blade, sort of, well actually Series 2. Welcome back my friends, welcome to Series 2 of Let's Play Mountain Blade. Now, for those of you wondering why Series 1 basically ended with a music video. The reason for Series 1 ending was I lost my save game when switching from laptop to other laptop to other laptop to PC, and because it was iron mode, I think that was why my save file got so fucked up, so that's why it just hasn't been carried over. But also, to be honest, I feel like having a fresh start in Mountain Blade anyway, because as you know, those of you who did watch my previous playthrough, my career was more of a mishmash of just getting thrown around and killed by everything. So this time I'm going to do a campaign that's more focused, and I promise not to suck as much, because I have been practicing with friends as well. Mr. Tengu 230, my invasion buddy. But yeah, I've practiced at the game, I've gotten better at the game a bit, I've kind of sort of found my niche combat style in a way, my weapons I'm better with. So we're going to do a new focused campaign. I've also pre-selected a faction who we're going to stick with, like, well, we might not stick with them through and through, but sort of like a faction who is going to sort of act as my home base. So I will tell you the faction as we go in, but we are going to be starting a new game. We just have to go through the usual text thing which tells us, by the way, this game is incredibly sexist and well, it's not sexist, some SJW will say sexist, but yeah, remember, in a medieval society, rich men ruled, poor men and women drooled. So I haven't really decided, well, I am going to be male, but I haven't really decided who my father was. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with this, but this actually might fit in with what I'm playing as. I am going to be playing as the Vaegirs, or hanging around with the Vaegirs, a faction I never really bothered with, but they're the guys who live in the snowy regions of Caladria, tending to specialise in bows and heavy weapons. So they're a little bit like the Nords, but a bit different. They do tend to favour cavalry more than the Nords. So I guess we do need to pick one of our 6 origins for my daddy-o. My daddy-o was a travelling merchant because, yeah, I'm just going to pick these at random really and see what we create. So you were born the son of a travelling merchant, always moving from place to place in search for a profit. Although your parents were wealthier than most and educated you as well as they could, you found little opportunity to make friends on the road, living mostly for the moments when you could sell something to somebody. You started to learn about the world, and almost as soon as you could walk and talk, you spent your early life as. So what did I spend my early life as apart from travelling around? Well, I guess since I'm on a commerce background, I was a shop assistant. You know, as a boy growing out of childhood, you apprenticed to a wealthy merchant, picking up the trade over the years of working shops and driving caravans. You soon became adept at the art of buying low, selling high, and leaving the customer thinking they'd got the better deal, wink wink. But then as a young adult, life changes as always does, and you became a goods peddler. Yeah, I'm basically going for the mercantile route here because, hey, I like to make money. So, through the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way, you had become a man, by the way, and the whole world seemed to change around you. Heading the call of the open road, you travelled from village to village, buying and selling what you could. It was not a rich existence, but you became a master at haggling even the most miserly elders into giving you a good price. Soon you knew you would be well placed to start your own trading empire. But as soon as everything changed and you decided to strike out your own, becoming an adventurer, what made you take this decision was, so why did I decide to become an adventurer? Well, I guess once a traveller, always a traveller. Wanderlust. I want to explore the snowy plains of the Vaegirs, and then maybe even more, to buy out with my money. Perhaps I will not militarily take over Caladria after all. Perhaps I'll just buy everything because fuck it, I'm going to make money now. So only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. You're not even sure when your home became a prison. Well, we never really had a home, which is why the snowy steppes will be my home now. When the familiar became mundane, but your dreams of wandering had taken over your life, whether you yearn for some faraway place or merely for the open road and the freedom to travel, you could no longer bear to stay in the same place. You went simply and never looked back. So let's become an adventurer, and we're gonna go. By the way, once more, I am gonna. If I screw up, I screw up. No quitting without saving. Every time I make a decision or a mistake, it's permanent. It's on the permanent record. No saves coming. So we're going to quickly choose the attributes and the name of our character. So he's not going to be called Squawker anymore, because I think that was a stupid name. I want to give him an actual name. Since we're like trading and stuff, I guess we need to give ourselves a trading name. So we're going to call us, but we also need to be quite barbaric and quite snowy. I mean, the Vaegirs are not the most sophisticated people in Caladria. They're sort of somewhere in between the Khergits and the Nords, basically. So somewhat civilized, if barely, but somewhat adept with horses. Basically like snow bandits. So I'm going to call myself... For some reason the name Obi-Wan Kenobi springs to mind, even though Obi-Wan Kenobi was very civilized. I'm going to call myself... I want to call myself Trevor, actually, but that's a bit of a stupid name. I'm going to call myself... Trevance. Yeah, Trevance. It's halfway between Terence and Trevor. Trevance Kinobi. Trevance Kinobi, there we go. Not quite a Jedi, but also a trader, so... yeah. So we also need to pick our attribute points. I've got 4 to spend. I can't. One thing I can't do is I can't subtract because I've obviously I think I've been pre-given some skills from the choices I've just made. So let's see. We can upgrade our strength, which might be a good thing because our health level isn't very high. So increasing our strength will add 1 to hit points. So we could round that up to 45 health if I just put in strength. But agility gives me better movement speed, which is also good, and also affects us because we're doing quite good for intelligence and charisma though through my things. So you know, I am quite intelligent. I'm gonna boost my charisma by just 1 though, so we can get so maybe we can wing the ears of a few more peeps. And I'm also gonna definitely put 1 into strength. Like we'll just bring ourselves up to 42 health, but I think I'm gonna be favouring the dialogue route in this game, so by the choices I've made. So. Putting 1 into intelligence as well, and you know I'll just spread them evenly, so there we go. 7 strength, 8 agility, 9 intelligence, 10 charisma. Now I have 9 skill points to distribute among the skills, so here we've got all sorts of really cool skills. The ones we've already got proficiencies in is we've got proficiency in riding, so I can already ride half decent horses, it looks like, with 3. But I don't know what the max cap is, but we're able to ride horses at least, and we're probably better at maneuvering than someone who isn't trained. I've also got +3 inventory management, which means I've got extra 18 places in my inventory already from the start. I've also got 4 in trade, which means it reduces the trade penalty by 5%, so that's quite good, and it also spreads out across the party. And I also have 2 leadership, which means every point increases the maximum number of troops I can command by 5, and also increases party morale, and also cuts my wages down. So this will be good for saving some money. So I'm definitely going to put 1 in leadership, because I can only put 1 in leadership anyway, so there we go. Better leadership skills for SK Walker or Trevance Kinobi. What else could we also put? We could put into trainer, which means we add more skills and experience to my party, which is something decent. There's a lot of numbers you can read for it. So I'm going to definitely put 1 into trainer so I can start distributing some XP around my party. As for looting, yeah, we need to know where to source some decent goods. So this will increase the amount of loot I can gain from every victory, so I'm going to put 2 into looting, because that's all I can put in anyway. But yeah, 2 extra looting, that's going to work out. And that's for my weapons, by the way. I am going to definitely, like I said, for weapons I specialise in on multiplayer is, I am more leaning towards being infantry. I do have some skill with ranged weapons, but I definitely do seem to play better with things like spears, beredishes, big weapons basically. So I'm gonna put in, I'm gonna put in for some power strikes. There's also power throw, which is for throwing, and power draw, which is for bows. The way I'm thinking which I'm going to be doing my weapons in the future is I'm going to put 1 to power throw, because I might get some javelins going on my character as well. So at least I've got a nice little boost to the combat styles I want. I've got a boost to my melee, and I've got a strike to my throwing. As for skills, I'm going to put in some Iron Flesh as well, because that's going to boost my health up even further. So I've got 2 points left, so 2 into Iron Flesh, because the more health I have, the better. Because also, even if I have been practicing this game is still hard as balls. I mean, seriously, the combat really does take quite a bit of mastering, and it can get very hectic very quickly if you're not careful. I'm also going to put in 1 into shielding, because that's going to help me out a little bit as well. Also, by the way, once you assign a skill point, you can't get it back unless you reset everything. So I was actually just thinking for a minute, maybe I should have gone for tactics or tracking or pathfinding, but now I'm putting 1 to shield now. So that just means my shields do a little bit better, they're less likely to break on me, so you know, I'm better at using my shields, I know which way to hold it basically. As for proficiencies, like I said, I'm going to be going for bigger speary weapons, so I've got pole arms, two-handed, archery, crossbows, throwing. So I've got 15 to spend, so I'm going to bring my throwing up to 21. I'm going to bring my pole arms up to 40. I'm going to put my one-handed up as well. It's always good to keep a one-handed weapon nearby as well, because while a spear is good, then they kind of suck in very close combat. So we need to definitely just keep an eye on how we use it. So I'm bringing my one-handed up to 25, and then I'll put a bit extra into two-handed. So I'm still a bit of a jack of all trades, but I've got a definite leaning now towards throwing, pole arms, and two-handed weapons. And there we go. That's how my change is done. So Trevance Kinobi, he's got charisma and intelligence over brute force, but he does know his way around a shield. He does know his way around bigger weapons. So he sees a use in him. But he's still someone who likes to lead and trade his way around the map, and that is what we're going to do. We are going to buy out Caladria with my filthy riches, while exploring, of course. So that's all that done, and now it's face editing time, and this is something I'm probably going to get into quite a bit, actually, because I mean, my last character I made wasn't quite hideous, but this is actually something where I'm probably going to pause the recording or something, just because I'm probably going to take quite a bit of time over doing this one. So I'm going to see you when I've made my dude, if you get what I mean. As for his age, by the way, he's how old am I going to make this guy? Like, I might age him up as we continue through the campaign, or I'll just give him a random age. There we go. He's about middle-aged, so he's got a little bit of weathering on his face. You know, I've traded my way around the old land for quite a while, and now I've migrated south into Caladria, looking for new challenges and new places to explore. So that's all from me for now. I'm gonna talk to you in a little bit, folks, and I will be deciding how I'm gonna make my character look. So see you in a few when I have. Alright, so this is what I made at the end of the day. I've made him ginger, and look, I basically made him look like Obi-Wan Kenobi, because, fuck it, well, now I've put the name Kenobi in there, I just can't resist. So this is what I look like, and also, as I can tell, I've got my starting weapons of a crossbow and a pole, which is kind of a decent, I guess. I'm probably not going to sit with a crossbow for very long now. I'm probably going to swap it for something else. But this is Trevance Kinobi. Nice ginger hair, nice beard, kind of a looker, but a little bit thin in the face as well, because, I don't know, I was just messing around with the sliders, and I kind of like this look. I mean, he looks a bit like a sick dog or a puppy or something. I mean, he could use feeding up, but hey, that's what wandering does to you. He's a merchant who hasn't eaten in a while, I guess, but he prefers to spread his wealth around by buying up ludicrous amounts of property rather than putting food inside himself, so that's what he does. Anyway, let's jump into it. So that's me done, and we're gonna just jump in with the first encounter, which always happens in this game. So, we hear about Caladria, land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other's supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit for fortune, power or glory. In this land holds great dangers and even greater opportunities. You believe that you may leave your past behind and start a new life. You feel that finally you hold the key to your destiny in your hands. Feel free to choose as you will, and whatever your course takes, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Caladria and its kingdoms, well, we're going to be heading towards... where is the Vaegirs? It's here. We're going to be joining a caravan to Ravenheim. I'm going to be travelling from the north, so we're heading to Ravenheim, where I'm going to be basically a guy who's going to buy everything from. Starting from the north, from the snow. A rather poor kingdom, I believe, but perhaps I can make this kingdom rich and use it as a way to base myself for an economic takeover of the world. Either way, let's join and get on with it, yeah. So you have come through the Vaegirs Highlands, a plateau exposed to the bitter winds from the north from whence I came. The land here is frozen for most of the bitter year, but the forests are rich with fur-bearing game and the rivers are teeming with fish which I can sell. The riches of the lands draw the traders, but the traders in turn draw bandits. You saw the occasional dark figure mounted on a shaggy pony watching the passage of your caravan from the snowy ridge, and were glad when the spires of Ravenheim came into view across the wide valley of the Bollock River. While while Trevance Kinobi is a good trader, he has not had a lot of experience of combat, by the way, so we need to make him tough and stand on his own 2 feet. But he is exhausted by the time he finds the Inn of Ravenheim, and he falls asleep quickly. However, you wake before dawn and eager to explore your new surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted, then all of a sudden you hear that sound that stands with the hairs of the back of your neck on the end. The rasp of a blade, Simon Scabbard. Someone's going to cut you up, mate. So we are going to get mugged now. So 3, 2, 1, let's try not to die. So I have a pole and a crossbow. Oh, he's got a bow as well, and he's going to shoot me, right. This is a stick-up, so I'm going to shoot him with my crossbow. Oh, shit, right. You know, just beat him up with my pole, because he's just beating me up. There we go. Pole power! I like playing in third person. Oh god, he asked for it. Oh. No, wait, that's my notes. He has friends. Oh. You just missed. The merchant of Raven just avoided getting killed by my pole. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure that we can save his name for that other fellow though. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me out with something. Let's talk more inside, out here where we don't know who's listening. Okay, Mr. Rather Ugly Guy, but fine. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while, checking the street, and then finally he's convinced you. Yep, thank you. So why was I being mugged, and why did I have to bean him over the head with my pole? Oh, we're just gonna hit. Oh, I'm basically free to leave now, but here's my guy, by the way. I have a nice furry hat just to protect. Oh my god, I do look a bit like a mutant, do I? Yeah. Oh well, it's what I have, but I'm by the way, I'm not allowed to leave, so this is something. Oh well, I guess I'm stuck here then. Okay, you. What's there to talk about before I bean you with my pole? Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven to banditry by war, debt or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. For what Commander tells us, it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers, fewer men to keep an eye out on the streets, but I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from his prominent house out alone in the dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's your family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon have sent word about a ransom, but I don't care the rates to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with Blade. Well, not really, just more of a big wooden stick. And more importantly, you look like you have a bit of fire in your belly and wouldn't be coming to Caladria to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down the bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson that they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a little bit of silver. What do you say? Well, there's money involved, so I am interested. And I get 100 dinars as a advance payment. Cool. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try to take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I will warrant. You will first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in villages around here looking for a bit of work that's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay, so take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go around to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you'll need at least 5 men to take on the bandits. Very good. Oh, sorry, I need to... Very good. I'll go and collect some men from around the villages. Yeah, I really do look like some sort of mutant. He looks very taken aback as well. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Raven. After you've got your group together, then we'll speak about what we can do next. Okay, so you've taken your first quest once more. I think the tutorial is a little bit mandatory, and while the starting quest probably isn't, but I'm going to play through it anyway because, yeah, you know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play through it because it is good for probably getting a little bit of starting capital and some starting XP. So we need to collect 5 men from around the Raven region. So we are free to leave now, so we can venture into the streets or into the plains actually. So yeah, there we go. Back in the familiar ground, back in the world map. Back in the kingdom of Vaegirs, near the Vaegirs capital. As you can already see, there's some looters on patrol nearby, but there's also the village of Aika nearby and the village of Sumbuja nearby. So we need to go to one of these two. We're also on the borders of Swadia as well, who I don't know if they're friend or foe to the Vaegirs. I don't have any loyalties right now, though like I've said, I am probably going to try and put a more of a bias and an emphasis towards helping out the Vaegirs in particular, so we're probably going to be hanging around Raven, Kura, Riversheg and Kudan more than other places. Well, we will probably have some Vandalust since this is my calling life, so adventure may call us down to Dirim, down to Sargoth, down to Halmar, we don't know yet. However, we will be helping out the Vaegirs quite a bit and we'll be doing their quests and trying to make a name for ourselves and maybe a lot of money at the same time. But that is where I leave you for today, my friends, so I hope you've enjoyed this first episode of Series 2, and yeah, We're back on the road, back on the plains. Now we're going to go recruit 10 men, but that is for tomorrow, so I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all then.